In this video, we have created the another PCF, and in the PCF we have tried to modify the lookup field of a table. So first I'll show you what PCF is doing, then we will see the code level. So the high level design of PCF is I have one entity application and the schema name is TNLB underscore application. So on the application table, I have lookup of the contact. So I have tried to replace this lookup with another PCF where I will display the full name of the contact and the email address of the contact. And there is some buttons on the PCF. One button is to edit the value of the contact. So basically, if you want to change the value of the first name, you don't have to navigate to this contact record and change the value. You can change the value here itself on the PCF and save it. Then there will be another button to remove the lookup record from this lookup field on the table application table record. So these are the some buttons and high level PCF design. So to see that one, how I have done. So already I have created a code and I have added to my repository. So this is my PCF repository. This URL I will provide into my description box. You can get it from there. So this is the my PCF name, lookup edit. You can download this code from here. Okay, it will download the zip file. Once it is downloaded, we can start modifying. So I'm not building the code from scratch. Code is already built. So I'll tell you how to download it and edit the code if you want to, and run it and publish into the solution. You download this zip file, lookup edit, and this is the image which I have added of the PCF. So on the application, on the contact lookup, so I have the full name of the contact displaying on the PCF. There is a email address also, and then I have edit button. So by default this lookup will be disabled. When you click on edit, then this field will be enabled, and then this edit button will be replaced by save button. When you save it, then the changes what we do here, it will be saved to contact. So you are not navigating to contact record, we are saving on the application form itself. And then there is a delete button. When you click this one, then it will remove this lookup John Rambo record from this contact lookup on the application table record. So this is the UI of the PCF. So let's move next. So once you have downloaded, it will show the zip file like this. Already I have downloaded to my local. In the last video, we have created the slider control. You can refer the video where I have explained in details the PCF components. So here, once you have downloaded, put your lookup edit zip file in your particular folder where you want to edit your code. So I will extract this code. Okay. Okay, so once you're stuck, this folder will be there, lookup edit. I'll go to that folder and open this folder into my Visual Studio. So I'll open here Visual Studio Code. Okay, so this is the my solution. Currently, what you will download from the my GitHub repository from here. From here, whatever you download. So currently the code version of this one is here. So you will notice here the node underscore module, the node module components are not downloaded. We have to run the npm install. So that will be our first step to do. But before I do that, let me tell you the components we have in this solution. So there is a folder edit lookup. Here in this folder, I have the CSS components. So these components are styling the buttons and the edit fields, those things, the style of that button. Like basically when you see these images, there is a stylings, right? This color and the look and feel of these components that is given into this style code, style file. Next is I have one helper TypeScript file here. The purpose of this one is that to perform some operation, Like on the Dataverse, I'm trying to retrieve some record using the Web API. So the any Dataverse operations which I'm doing, like retrieve, update, create, anything, if we do, we will try to maintain the separate file for that. So here I'm doing the retrieve of my some custom entity or any generic entity. So that way I have defined. So it will take the ID of that particular record, then the schema name of that entity or which you want to retrieve, and the column. Currently, I have added the two columns. That is why I'm specifying the column as a two parameter. But suppose you want to have multiple columns, then you can take it as a string array, and then you can put into this select as a string array for those ones, and you can change it for the retrieve how you want to. Once it is retrieved, I'm formatting the return here, the name, the column name, and the record ID. These two will be returned from this API. So, and I hope now you understood the purpose of this Dataverse helper class now. Next is the manifest file. In the manifest file, I have the five properties. Obviously, the lookup entity field will be this the particular lookup which we are generating. It is bind to one of the lookup fields, so that is the property. Then I'm passing the parent entity name. So I'll show you when I will publish this code to the solution. There I will be specifying the value of this one. So parent entity here is like in the my solution, this is DNLB underscore application is my parent entity and the contact is the child entity. So basically, if you see where I'm applying the lookup, so lookup is on the application. So I'm calling application as of now as a parent, so that I will specify the schema name for the parent as a DNLB underscore application and the record ID of the application where we are having the PCF to be loaded. So the record ID means nothing but 209. This is the some GUID of the application record, right? So that ID we have to pass it. So for that I have taken as a dynamic. So if you see here, the single line, this is the single line text, the schema name of the parent, and then it is the GUID of the record. It is bound type, and this is not bound type. This is the input type. Basically, we have to provide the value of that. But when you select the bound type, then from the application we have to select one of the column. And the column of for me is the application itself. So there you will see the application as text. There the GUID of the application will be stored, so that field will bind here. And for the lookup, I have taken lookup as simple. There is a lookup like customer, like that. So this lookup is simple, applicable to generic all the lookup, and it is bound type because we have to bind to this control to one of the field. So that is, it is bound type. Then we are having the another property, the parent entity bind schema. I'll show you how it is coming, because uh, this value will store the schema name, how to update the contact lookup on the application. So when you update the contact any lookup value on table, they will be bind data or data binding, right? So that schema we have to pass here. So I'm making it as also dynamic, and obviously it is the input type, so it is not bound to any column. So it is input type as a single line text. Okay. Then we are having the schema name of the name, the primary column. Primary column key will be key column will be there, right? So the schema name of that one we can specify as an input parameter of this one. Then this is also as in the users type as input. The next is the another column, custom column, suppose, or some other column you want to display. So along with the name column, you want to display some other column value, right? So like some email or that some address, some address or some mobile number you want to display. So that schema name you have to specify here. So that is also a type of input here. You have to specify the input and then set the value. Next is columns of the lookup entity. It is specified. And here the lookup entity schema name is the contact schema name. Schema name of the lookup entity. Basically, the lookup of which entity? The lookup of contact, right? So here the lookup entity schema name is the lookup schema name of the, like here in this case it will be contact, and the schema name of the lookup entity, column of the lookup entity is the email address. So I'm trying to display the email address of the contact. So this I can specify. You can specify the business, phone, fax, or any column from the in your lookup entity. So I'll show you the how I'm setting this value in the further of the video. So I hope you understood the properties. Then a resource binding is done here. Then I'm using the web API. So I have added the feature feature uses, and uses is web API equals to true, required equals to true. So web API feature is used in the code. So this is the details of the manifesto file. In the index text file, this is the main logic where we are having the details of our uh, logic of our PCF. So here I have described some properties like container, obviously for storing the PCF, then context, then lookup in lookup input name input, then lookup column. Basically, the name input name column we are storing, right, that value. Then the lookup column, the custom column field we are passing, right, the another field apart from name field we are adding one more field like email address, so that storing that value. For that there's a edit button, then save button, then select lookup, and the delete button. So edit button is to edit the record, edit the contact record, edit the save the contact record. Select lookup is to when you suppose in the lookup there is no value, then how we can set the value through the PCF. So we will select the lookup button, and we will search the contact, and then we'll select it. So that is the button for this one. Lookup ID is the contact ID to store the lookup record ID. Then lookup search input, like there is a one input control to be created, input type HTML input type. So that will it will help to search the contact by the full name, like that. I'll show you in the code where it is used. So the list of the contact, when it is displaying, then we'll create the container of this list, and then we'll display into the list. Then look up a schema name, the lookup entry, that is nothing but lookup details, a schema name. So these are some properties I have here. So then if you come to the if you come to the init here, in the initialize, you can see I have initialized these details. I'm getting the value from the value from the parameters or those context value, and then creating the input element or button element whenever it is required, setting the text of those controls, and then adding some class here of the CSS. These class are coming from the our CSS file. From here you can see those class declared here, which is used inside this index.js file. Okay, and after that there's some event handler of the click, which is bind on some method. So like on the edit, we have the on edit method binded here. So then we are having the save button. Then for the save we are having this on save function. Then for the select button there is on select lookup, and there is delete button, then on delete method. So these are the main methods for the binding of the buttons. And then we have appended those controls into the main container here. Okay, and then below we are rendering the lookup details. Basically this method will render how the lookup should render, whether it has the value or not. So this is the initial initial load method. When the control is initialized and on the form, then this method will execute to show the details of the PCF on that. So here we'll explore this method first, what it is doing. So if you go to the details of this one, you will see I'm checking whether lookup value contains data or not, because this lookup value will be coming at the init only, right? Init method only I'm initializing here from the input parameter. If the lookup value contains the value here, then we have to retrieve that record so that I can display the first name, last name to that PCF, right? So if contains the value, then I'm retrieving the record of the contact using passing the web API lookup ID, the schema of the lookup, which is contact, and then the column schema name and those ones. So this method, it is present in the my helper class here. So under the helper database ts file. So this is the method name. Okay, so under that I'm passing it, and it will retrieve those records and it will give me this value. So that is why in the ts here, in the index.ts, I'm retrieving this lookup record, and then I'm setting the value of the name value, and the column, the another column, that is nothing but email address value, I'm setting to this field, to this properties. Then I'm disabling it, because once the values are coming, which means user has to edit it, otherwise it will be disabled to edit. So that is why disable will be true. Then displaying properties I have displayed here. In this case, you can see the edit button will be enabled, save button will be hidden, and then select button also will be hidden. Only the edit button will be displayed, and along with the delete button, so that they can remove the value from the lookup. If suppose contact is not selected on the lookup, then what will happen? So in that case, the columns, nothing but these two columns, it will be empty, and here you will have this search, select this contact. So here you will see this these two columns will be empty, disable will be false. Obviously you can change the value, and then there is a edit button, it will be hidden. The save button also, it will be hidden. The select button will be there, because you have to search the contact and then select. So that is why select button I am displaying, and the delete button will be displayed. So on the delete button, it is displayed here. So like that, and then on the select button, there is a lookup on select. This is another method. It is register. So when you click on the select button, then on select button lookup, the this method will be fired. So this is the details of the render lookup. Let's explore the method for each button in the high level, and then we will see the details. So example, when we click the edit, then what will happen? So the edit method is described here. So when you click the edit, then those input fields will be enabled to edit, and the edit button will be hidden, and the save button will be displayed. So when you click the edit, the next button we are having is the save. So when you click on save, like you change some value, and now the save button is displayed. So when you click on save here, so what we do here, um, we get the details of the name column and the email address value from this one, and then we are checking if the value contains the data. So we are expecting both the fields should have value, but you can edit it if you want. You can make it one value, or whatever the columns you are specifying, you can check it. Currently I'm having the condition that it should both the columns should contain the value. Then we are getting the update record, and here we are binding the column name. So here the column names are like the full name, and then the column lookup name is the email address. So that is coming from my input parameters, so which I am providing in the property. So these columns will be coming from there, and that is why you can see the value of those input what we have selected I'm setting here. And then there is a API update record call, and the schema name of the lookup is contact. So directly you can see the lookup schema is contact. So I'm directly updating the contact record by passing the lookup contact ID, and then schema of the contact and the record which I'm going to update. So directly it will update. Once update is success, I'm displaying the edit button, because once the record is saved, it should be able to edit, right? So edit will be displayed, save will be hidden, and then those input fields will be disabled. So this is the feature of the save function. Now moving next, we are having the select lookup. So this method is very important. When you select the record, first of all we have to display one control to allow user to search some contact. So like it should be input text field. So here that is why I have created one div element container, and then creating the input of the type as text, and then we are suggesting placeholder that please search your contact here. So once it is done, user should be able to search it, and and then we have appended this to the main container here, that the text search control. And once it is displayed, then we are having the search lookup bind function. This method, it will when user will input any text, then on the change of input, basically when input is done on the text field, this method will be fired, and then we will take the value of the query what user has passed input field, and then that value we are checking if the question which is user is searching, if it is more than 2 character, then we are doing the search. If it is less than 2 character, then we are not searching. So we are checking if the character entered is greater than 2, then we have to fetch the uh, record of that particular lookup. So here I'm passing the search query here, and then the search query will be passed, basically like suppose some name AB you are searching, so the AB will be passed here. And under this method, let's explore this. You will see the search query as a string is passed, and then we are selecting this dot here, the column here you can see I'm having the name column. So they will be primary key, right? So like the name or some particular any table will have we can describe the primary key column, right? So that basically if you see in this here in this test application, I'm having this name column here, right? So that will be displayed. So I'm searching the column what you will specify for the name, so on that one. But you can see it is dynamic, you can specify any column and then it will search on that. So here, and then look up column schema, the another column that nothing but the email address column. So that I'm selecting those two column, and searching is equals to select equals to this one. So start with name entity column, and then search the query. So it will start any name start with the search query like AB, then it will do the searching or filtering on those table, and then it will create the query first. And once the query is created, then we are passing the lookup schema name and the query, and it will give me the result. And in the result, I'm storing the lookup record ID, name, and the column value. So that value will be returned here. So that value will be coming to me under this lookup. So once it is retrieved, then for each record, I'm creating the list item, and then in the list item, I'm binding the content text where the name will be displayed, and then so that user can see those 10, 20 contacts whatever is there. With that filtering of this particular search, it will be adding into the item, and then on the click of that particular item, then we have to update the particular lookup. So on this, when it is selected particular from the list, if it is selected on the lookup select, I'm just updating the content. Now that is why you can see here I'm calling this method on lookup select, item will be passed, and then on the lookup ID here, if the list of container contains the display, first of all we are hiding the display, and then we are updating the lookup record, and here we are passing the lookup ID, and then the container what value is selected, the parameter record row will get that parent ID, and then because we have to update the contact. So if you select some, suppose when you search like this, right? So when you click on this one, this value we have to update on application table, right? So when this is what we are doing, so when you select this one, we'll update the parent record, so that is why parent ID we will get it, and then we will have the parent record ID, and then update record we are creating. And here you can see the binding of that lookup we are doing. So here the parent bind is nothing but we are updating the contact here, right? So that contact will be passed here, and then lookup schema, the contact of the contact ID, that will be set here. Whatever we have selected, right? That ID will be lookup ID will be selected. It will be passed here, lookup ID, and then it will set. And then we are updating the record by passing the parent record schema name, parent record ID, and then update payload. And once it is updated, then the application record will be updated. So like that we are doing. I hope now you understood this logic of the select. Moving next on the delete, we are just simply removing the value. So if you see in the delete method here, um, we get the parent record ID, which is selected to the parent record property. And then once it has the value, then we are setting the lookup value as null. And then with that null, we are updating the record with the parent record so that it will remove it. And then finally, once it is removed, then we are rendering the updated details of the PCF again. So then that's what changes we are doing in the delete. So these are the details of the main methods into the index.ts. There are some methods like update view. I'm just setting this parameter here because once it is changed, then we have to store the lookup ID always to this property so that we can use into the next time. Then get output, we don't have any implementation. And on the destroy, we are removing the uh, bind functions on the click so that it will be removed from the execution. So this is the entire code explanation. I know it took a little bit time to explain, but this is the details we have in the index here so that when you download this code, you will understand how to change it, how to make some changes if you want to. So this is things. So now once it is done, I have already explained in the previous video what is the packagation and package lock. You can get to the previous video and you can understand it. So here now we'll build the further. So what we will do, first of all, you can see we don't have node module, so we have to install it. So we'll go to the terminal here and then install the npm here first. So npm install. So it will take some time. So now you can see the node modules will be folder will be created and it will add the dependencies package. And from where it is getting, it will take the value from the like package details will be taking from the packagation, and the version of the package will be locked on the log.json so that whatever the log packagation versions of the components are there, only that version will be downloaded to the solution. So that is why the use of the log package log JSON is there. Okay, once it is downloaded, then we can check it by running it. Okay, so to run it, we'll go to here and try to npm start. So when you click on that, then we can see how the our controls looks like. Okay, so we are having the input here, these two input, then we are having select, and then we are having delete button. There is a save button and select button also, but those are as of now hidden because for the edit, there is no, this is the edit, right? So for that case, the edit button, like basically there is no value selected here, right? So that is why select button will be displayed, edit button and save button will be hidden in this case. So this is the UI of the button, but you can change it if you want to. Okay, moving next. Now when we know that our component has been loading fine, now we have to put this code into the our solution. So for that, if you see my solution here, I do not have the any custom component as of now added. So currently in the last video, we have added the DNLB slider. So I will be pushing this component, and already I have connected to my Dataverse. To check where I have connected, I can execute back or go. Now you will see I have connected with this ID to my organization DNLB 91. This is the connection where the environment I have connected, and this is the email. This is the ID through which I have connected. So I have the connections to that. But if you want to, if you don't have that one, then you can use the pack auth create and then hyphen URL, and then you can provide your environment URL. So then when you provide it, then it will ask you to sign in, and then you can create it. Once you are created, then we have to publish this package to our solution. So I'm going to pack PCF push and then solution unique name, and that is .NET little boy customizations. Okay, this is the unique name of my solution from where if you see my solution here, if you go to the details of this one, here you will see that one in the classic. Otherwise, from here also you can see, if you go to details setting, and this is the solution, this is the my details of the particular solution, so I can have a specify that one. So once I'll hit now, it will build the package again and try to push this package into the solution here. So we will wait for some time until this package is moved here. So we'll open the solution and we'll monitor this one. Okay, so solution name is not valid. Let's try that. Back PCF push solution unique name .NET little boy customizations. Okay, let's check it. Okay, so I have already copied that one. Let me directly paste here. So this is my pack solution. So I'll just copy it and paste it instead of typing. Okay. So it will pack push PCF solution name, and then this is the solution. It will try to publish it. So we'll wait for some time until this package moves. Then we'll set the properties of the PCF. So I'll pause the video for some time. Then I will continue. So now the publishing of the customizations has been completed. So now you can see the published all customized. So now if we'll go here and try to refresh my solution, it might take some time. We'll wait for a few seconds more because our solution, you can see now it is coming here, right? So new custom component, what we have published now. So it is into our solution here now. Okay, so this is the lookup edit. Now we will use this into our form. So I have, I'll go to my solution here. Under that, we are having the application table, right? So we'll open the application table, and on the form and in the main information form here, this main form will add this PCF. So because on the main form, we have to replace this contact with the PCF. So we will select that lookup field on the form. Okay, so this is the contact field. We'll select that, we'll go here and then add the component, and here add component. Here you will see we'll have the components loading for the lookup. So already you can see edit lookup is loading here. In case if you are not finding, then you can go to the get more components and you can search your component. It will be coming here. So I can see my contact, the lookup control which we have created, published into the solutions. It is coming here. So I will select that one. When you select the properties, what we have decided into the manifest file, it is asking to save that here. So currently the schema name, the parent entity, it is nothing but this one. So I'll put this schema name. So paste here. Okay, then the GUID of the parent record. So the GUID of the parent record will be under the application text. So we'll select that one. So this column of this table, it will give the record ID, application record ID. Then the parent bind schema. So from where we'll get it. So to update this, when you update the value of, when you to update this value, okay. So to get it, let me do this. show you from where we are getting. So if you come here and here, when you update the application for the lookup of the contact, let it get sign in here. Okay. So when you the update of the application table, so this is my DNLV application. Select that one. And the column which I want to update is the contact. So when you select that one, provide some value, good value. If you go to the Web API execute, you will see the bind properties is this one. So this is what we have to pass here. In some cases, why I'm taking this as a dynamic parameter, because in some cases, if you select the if you have the lookup for the multi entity lookup, basically one lookup can point to the multiple table types, right? So when you have that one, then it will have the underscore particular. Suppose for the customer we are having underscore contact and underscore account. So if we are having like that, then that you need to specify here. So this is why, that is why I have made this as a dynamic, so that this PCF you can apply to any lookup field. Okay, I have selected that one. It is contact, and then schema name of the lookup entity, which is nothing but contact in this case. Okay, and the schema name name column. So name column is my full name here. So I'm giving the full name, and then the schema name of the lookup entity. So it is the email address. So the another column which we want to display for the contact is the, if you go here, so if you open the contact, I can display any, apart from the full name, I can choose any column. So here I'm choosing this email column to be displayed in the PCF, but you can select the business and facts or any text field which we have on the your lookup table. You can select that one. So I'm selecting the email address one. Okay. So these are the properties we have to set it. So I'll save it and publish. So after saving, now you can see the control will look like this. I'm publishing it, then we will see the operation. Okay. It is published. We'll come to the application here and refresh this one. Now you can see the control has been replaced by this one. Now, since in this lookup there is no contact, right? So now, since there is no contact, then we have to select the contact. So what we'll do, we'll click on select contact and search the contact. So if you see some contacts here in my table, I have contacts like several contacts. So if I select like this one, so I'll search like as soon as I'll put two text. Now you can see Rohit and Kohli, I mean like Rohit Kohli and Rohit Sharma as a two contacts. So if you see here with Rohit here, one is here and then another is here. So with RO, it start with these two. So it will display that one. So we can select that one. As soon as you will select, you can see these two fields become disabled. We can't edit, and edit button will be enabled now. Okay, as soon as it is done, if you go to the application now, I'll go from here to application. On this one, I'll add the column. Okay, so add column as a contact here. Now you will see the Rohit Kohli is selected on this application. So it has got updated to the application now. Now, if you click on delete, as soon as you will delete this record, this lookup will be removed. So it is saved. So if you refresh now, I have clicked the delete. The value of this lookup has been removed. So if I refresh this now, I can see here in the contact column, the contact is empty, so it got deleted. Next is after selecting the suppose I'm refreshing this again. Okay, I'll click on select. I'm searching some contact here. I'm selecting that one, and this is the email address of my uh, contact. So I'll click on edit. I'm just changing the email to like 123. This is some email update value. As soon as click on save, now you can see the edit button got hidden. Save button is enabled, and when I click on save, now the save button got hidden and this is updated. So if I click on refresh this one, this grid, and on the edit column, I will have the contact here. So contact is coming, and when you open this contact, you will see the email would have been updated. So the email of this one is updated as a 123. So now you can see it. So this is how you can design your PCF. So basically what we did, we did not move out from this application form. We are on the application form itself and we have updated the contact. So this is how you can design your PCF. If you want to make some changes on a style, a button, a look and feel, you can edit this solution as per your require, and you can add, instead of email you can add any columns to be displayed, and you can enhance the solution if you want to. I hope you understood this PCF, and you can play around with that. So thank you for watching this video, guys.